Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the Marion Township Board of Supervisors meeting for Thursday, July 30th to order. First item, as always, is the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd ask everyone to please rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The meetings being held virtual fashion as well. So I'd like to ask everyone to please either silence your cell phones or at least put them on vibrate. That way we don't disturb the flow of the meeting. And of course, the meetings are recorded for audio and video as presented. Anyone looking to make any public comment, we ask that you sign in front and just the front so that you can be heard clearly on the microphones. At this point, Beverly, you're the only one who has signed in. Do you want to come?
Beverly Brossman, 412 Water Street, Strasburg. I have several items. The first one is I did for ours a community service again for Liberty Square. The next issue is we need to get lines painted at the ends of the roads. Within a week and a half, I almost got killed twice because you have to pull so far out on the road and these cars are driving like maniacs.
It's on Main Street, though.
Yeah, from Water Street, pulling out of Water Street onto Main Street.
Okay. And when you say the lines, you're talking about where the cars can't park?
Right.
Okay.
I had talked with Carl this week and he said he was working on it, but he had other things that needed to be done first. The other issue is myself and several other families are asking the township if they would consider asking the police to do a speed trap once a month on Main Street of Strasburg to try to cut back on some of this terrible, terrible driving.
Well, since we have the opposite here, is there a good spot on Main Street where you can trap?
I don't want to say the only spot, but the best spot, and I do sit there periodically 2-3 times a week at random times, is in the church parking lot right by Canal Road.
That's pretty-
You're getting going out of town or coming into town.
Yeah.
Where the speed limit changes. And most times when I sit there, and again, it could be the times, but most times when I sit there, the fastest they usually go is 10 miles over, which we have to allow them to. And I mean, occasionally we do get one, or I get one occasionally, but I could sit there an hour. Sometimes there's only like 5 to 7 cars. I'm not saying we can't.
It's a tough, yeah.
One of the roads that was mentioned to me, it's mentioned to you, is Water Street. Corner at Water Street. Several of ones in the vicinity are the ones that asked me if I would mention that.
Yeah.
But now Brian is looking into it. I don't know if we're gonna get it. There is a borough police department and I see up north, I mean like Danville area, somewhere up there that's gonna be selling our NRAD system.
Okay.
And if the township approves it, we get the NRAD system. That you can set up anywhere. But right now to put lines on the road, it's a sit and run speed. With all the cars parked on Main Street, you know, the same. Yeah.
I know it's always been a line of sight problem for that. So as much as we possibly can, absolutely.
Well, for myself, we need them lines up.
Yeah.
Or one day you aren't gonna see me here.
Yeah, I'll talk to Carl about putting that up. We have signs a lot of places about no parking here to corner.
Please be disconnected.
Okay, so yeah, we'll look into that, Beverly. Okay. Seeing no other public comments, for disclosure, there was an executive session held after the June 25th Board of Supervisors meeting from 8:15 to 8:46 to discuss potential litigation. And now we'll move into the approval of the minutes. There was the following minutes that were completed and reviewed: May 21st, 2026 workshop meeting, May 28th, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting, June 18th, 2026 workshop meeting. I saw no issues with them, so I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second it.
Made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
There are two sets of minutes that are still in progress, June 25th Board of Supervisors meeting and the July 23rd workshop meeting. Hopefully we'll have them ready for next month's meeting. As a general announcement, as always, septic systems still need to be pumped out if you have not done that already. List of registered pumpers is available upon request. Kind of segueing into that, so far, 333 households out of the 566 identified on-lot properties have pumped out. This is about a 58 or try 59% compliance rate. Not bad, but it should be better. Hydroterra needs to send out that letter. Have they given us a draft for that yet? Because I have not seen it.
I haven't seen draft
Okay,
yet.
I will, for the non-compliance.
It's right here.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yeah, it's in your packet.
We have a final draft ready to go that either our SEO or Lisa will be distributing probably sometime next week.
Okay, good.
Kimberly did send it to me this morning.
Okay.
And it's in their packet. So.
I will review that then, but we need to get that out so we can remind people to do that before it starts getting cold again. Talked about that. Deliberation approval for the SEO to issue property owner warning notice. I think we need to review that before we make a motion on that. So move that to next month's meeting.
I think the board already authorized.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Kimberly said it wasn't authorized. That's why she asked me to put it back on.
We
So
already approved.
I don't even know if it needs to be authorized, frankly, because there's no true official action being taken with respect to enforcement. It's a warning. I think the township can proceed in issuing that letter next week. To the extent the board feels it necessary, we can ratify the issuance at next month's meeting.
Okay.
But to Peter's point, we need to get that noticed out so that people who haven't pumped can contract pumper haulers prior to winter.
Public sewer related items, additional surveys are required for the Buckeye Pipeline and the Tulpehocken Creek crossings. Draft specifications for the low pressure sewer system owners and management was sent to the solicitor for review. Hydroterra is on track with the proposed milestones that are committed to the PADEP. They're continuing the design process, and we're currently looking at what easements would be required to execute the project. So I have stuff in the packet from last week. I'll talk to Carl Monroe about a couple of them, and then we'll have to move forward on that. Public water, as we discussed, we would need to consider easements as well, service to identify properties. I'm still a big fan of putting some sort of survey out there to see who is interested and keeping it scoped to that number of people if it's financially feasible, especially if there's any grants available. I see the benefit in that, but I also don't want to force people off their wells if they don't want to do that. Grants, as has been a recurring item. We had the grant for the EMA trailer. That was $56,116 that we received. We just have to complete the purchases and close out the grant. There was also the $38,134 purchase for the Tulpehocken Police Protective Tactical and Communications Equipment, which was on a grant. And then the survey and utility location grant that we received, there's $11,000 remaining on that. We're waiting for reimbursement as we put in that first request.
I did submit the reimbursement on the 28th for the place.
Okay,
Submitted.
2 days ago. Okay. The LSA statewide grant, there are new application rules and guidelines that are released last month. So we're going to be trying to figure out what we need to do to get some possible LSA grants in. And unfortunately, we're waiting for details as to why, but the congressional discretionary funding grant for the building did not make it into the next round of consideration. Kimberly is working to try to figure out what the reason was behind that, but unfortunately, we're out of the running. So we'll have to pursue any and all other sources of grant funding that we possibly can to maybe not do the building in one fell swoop, but chip away at it over the next year or two. In terms of the treasurer's report. Well, if you want to do it, you want me to do it? The account balances for the funds that we have are general fund, $539,284.13. Money market savings, $135,964.56. Streetlight fund, $6,316.68. Road district, $27,469.61. The state aid fund, $153,651.15. And then the grant fund has $1,000. At this point, I will make a motion to approve the bills for July 2026.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
John, since you're here, EMC report. Anything?
Decently busy month. We assisted Mill Creek Township. Marion Fire Police came over to help over there for the train. Good experience. Steve will have a little more to add on it. Meaning stuff I gave you guys. And the fire this past Saturday. I know people can be very anxious when they see their property being damaged on fire and whatnot. Comments being made by some bystanders at the scene. And I spoke up and I kept it extremely clean. I did not yell. Got my point across, making people understand that everybody in this township, I said, that was on that scene at that point and in the process of responding to that scene, were volunteers coming from home. And it was still amazing how quickly they did get the first engine there, got put stuff on the red stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Saved that building. And other ones like, why was it taking a long time to get water? It was about 40 to 45 seconds to get water into the lines. They have to be flaked out. So if you can pass that on, it's a career department would not have been that quick in this setting. So for the volunteers to do that again, and literally save that building, it was impressive to see. I got lots of pictures and video in the beginning and flew the drone quite a bit. And we did have to feed the troops on that call, but it's getting busier. You can allude more to all that, what they're doing, but it was a good month in that really didn't get anybody hurt on any of our incidents, stuff like that, where one firefighter with minor exhaustion on that scene from Newmanstown of our people.
I just want to say it. I think it's a well-known fact. We're all immensely grateful for Marion Fire Company, and please pass that along to all the guys that they're a very cherished and valued resource of the community. I wouldn't see it go any other way. So then on that, you're up.
And yeah, thanks for supplying the pizza. Saturday
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
afternoon.
you.
That was
Thank you for what you guys do.
great. So yeah, to start with the numbers for June, we had 16 incidents. Marion Township, 2 accidents, 4 trees and wires down, 2 medical assists. One was Lenning Lifeline, the earthing center, brush fire, 2 mutual aid structure fires, 3 mutual aid brush fires, mutual aid fire alarm, and 1 mutual aid medical assist. That's June. Yeah, this month we had fire in town there, several displaced residents. You guys for stepping up and doing what all needs to be done. Yeah, it has been, we're on track to be well over our normal call volume for the year. Historically, about 10 calls a month is average. The last couple months have been 16, 17. So yeah, I mean, hey,
We're busy.
we're there to answer the call, but everybody be safe.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, correct. Anything you want to cover?
Nothing that's not later in the report on this. Yeah, I have a few items real quick for the board.
There was a email I sent out earlier this month regarding rental programs concerning the ongoing Pottstown litigation. The attorney for Pottstown had reached out to our office requesting basically support on behalf of Pottstown. Their appeal to the higher court. They were asking if the township wanted to reach out to PSATs. PSATs is working on getting I can't remember the legal term, I'll probably know it, together for the amicus brief. I can't remember the fancy word. Well, just to add some context, okay, obviously to search private property, you need the consent of the property owner or
Yeah.
probable cause. There was a case from the US Supreme Court in the early 1960s that said, probable cause in the case of a code inspection includes following a schedule set forth in a rental ordinance. Okay, the Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania has not followed that case and afforded people additional constitutional protections under our state constitution, which is allowed, right?
Yes.
A court in the state can grant more rights. It can't take away the minimum rights that the US Supreme Court provides. So now there's a question that will be resolved before the Pennsylvania Supreme Court concerning whether, a township's rental inspection program gives a township probable cause to enter that property without any belief or basis or a potential code violation happening there. So, on one hand, right, if the Supreme Court upholds the Commonwealth Court, it's a good thing for private property rights. On the other hand, it may be a bad thing for tenants who need some help in enforcing our construction code and property maintenance code. So we'll see what happens with this. What the Supreme Court decides. It's a really interesting case.
Okay, good. Anything else?
So in that same vein, we have rental properties. Obviously, the inspections have been ongoing this year. I just want to give you guys an update as we're kind of at the next stage here, trying to get compliance. We have approximately 68 properties in the township, of which only 15 have responded and had the COs issued at this point. So we're looking at 53 non-compliant properties according to our data. So at this point, we typically would send them a final notice of violation, informing them that they have not. This would take time as well as resources to achieve. We typically, with that final notice, post a copy on the door of the units as well. So looking for the board's direction if we wanted to provide, this is the first year that this is occurring, a little bit more time in addressing this at a later point.
I would say since it's new, I don't know what your thoughts on this, but the initial leniency is okay. But then after that, we have to follow the script. We can't halfway do it.
So what our thought was, some of these we haven't received responses from with an application to even contact them back. We were going to send the list to Lisa, have her give us any maybe phone numbers she might have for the owner for us to just try and call and ask for a response. And then if we don't have something by September, we would come to the board with that number. That was
How do you feel about that?
that was our.
I mean, that would be fine calling. Do we also want to send another letter out stating, hey, you didn't respond to the first one? Maybe you missed the first letter. Please respond by a certain date and also call.
We can do both.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I agree. For regular basis.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
And then it gives us, we tried
We
once,
tried.
we tried a
Tried
second
twice.
time and we
Tried.
called.
Yeah.
Right,
It's not
Try
for
to-
lack of effort.
right. Try to do our due diligence.
They already covered the fire property, so we were out, we inspected, took necessary action. So that's all I have.
Okay. Since Carl isn't here, the roadmaster items, Carl put up the flags, Main Street for 4th of July. 422, they look fantastic. We did successfully sell the boom mower on municipal bid. Carl's been out filling potholes with, instead of just regular old cold patch, with perma patch to see if that works any better. So time will tell. The school bus sign was removed from Sheridan and Idris as requested. The last 3 swings installed at the park. The township truck that we got needs lettering, so we'll have to get some quotes on that. Workshop meeting, a dumpster was approved for Carl. The F-550 is out of service due to a crack in the transmission. We're assessing options on repair, whether it's something that we source as a used part or something that we get elsewhere, but to take it to a shop is about $80. Which I want to keep pouring money into that truck. While we're on the roadmaster, though, I do want to take a second. The spots for this year's road repair are fantastic. I don't know if you guys have gotten a chance to drive any of them, but they're night and day better on, especially on Canal Road.
And that's also why we see speeds
Yeah,
higher.
yeah. So you make the road better and people go faster.
That's
Yeah.
why
Yes.
On Canal Road, they took dirt out of the bottom side of that curve there. And now that water, when it rains, it comes halfway, one lane is shut.
Okay.
They should have put some in there instead of taking it out.
That's the curve that's like right after Shady Cabin Circle and Canal, right? Okay, I'll take a look at that and I'll talk to Carmen. I did notice the other day that it was coming towards us. I did notice the other day that it was pooling a bit. I couldn't tell if that was just how things were sitting or what, but we'll look at it. If we got to regrade a little bit or put some riprap or something there, we will. Otherwise, though, I'm very happy with the job that was done on that. Lisa, anything for you?
No off, excuse me, no off equipment needed. The sign out front, have we come up with any type of design yet?
I have one that I can send you.
Okay,
I will send that over either tonight, depending on how I'm feeling, or tomorrow.
okay, so then, once we get there, we can start getting close on that.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a big day in the township on my valley, we grabbed 8 cats, 1 sick kid. Orange and Blake were over there helping, Debbie came out and asked if any help, yeah.
Thank you for your help.
Yeah, I think, hopefully we try to do this again. Joe from Burke's Community Cats, he's retiring, but he might still help us on the side. So we'll see.
Really help get that under control. Just as a general reminder, anybody that needs to call for police assistance, but it's not necessarily a 911 situation. The Berks County non-emergency phone number is 610-655-4911. That's a good one to save into your phones.
They'll still 1-800 number,
Oh, okay.
1-800-372-911. That was generated for like the northern western Berks County had a different area code.
What is it again?
1-800-372-9111. Okay, we'll add that to the list. Thank you. Okay. Standpoint, Tulpahawken had an okay month, average month. There were 8 citations issued, 7 traffic stops, 9 fire EMS advisories, 6 traffic accidents, which is a little higher than usual, 3 security checks. EMS, there were 9 from one provider and 5 from the other, so 14 ambulance service calls through the course of the month, which is, I'd say, fairly average for what it's been. April was the lowest with only like 4. Otherwise, that's pretty standard. We'll move into the current items. Maintenance and township bill. We mentioned grant opportunity that we're pursuing has sort of ground. So we need to start looking at options. First thing to do being grants. We had gotten quotes from John Hofford, Snyder Surveying, and Persick and Associates. I would say let's talk about this at length when Denny's back, because there were some fundamental and significant differences between the 3 quotes. So I would say keep that one for next month,
Okay.
and we'll talk about it with the three of us here. That's Granted, it's relatively small in the grand scheme of cost, but we're talking about a difference of $1,500 to $2,000 for the surveying between one and the other. We need to make sure everything that we actually need is covered in what we're doing.
Did you read any of them yet?
I did. I need to read through them again because they're not exactly light reading.
Right.
But we just need to make sure, like I said, that
Right.
the stuff that's in the Hopper quote is in the Snyder quote or in the Versa quote, or vice versa. That there isn't something in one that's not in the other that we actually do need.
Mhm.
For current item number 2, Lisa, for trade-ins. there's
Are
no-
we gonna be doing anything right now? I know we were talking about the truck over there.
I would say not right now.
Okay, so I can remember
Can
that.
we sell the broken truck?
Well, that's if we're not able to find parts for it at a reasonable price, that would be the next step.
So we talked a little bit last meeting about the part. I found a used transmission for like 3 I found. One was a rebuilt for 4,800. There was another one that was 2,200 used, and then there was another one that was in between the 2 quotes. Now, problem with placing that transmission in there is, number one, all those had a core charge. Okay, so is our core going to be good enough for a core charge? Number one. Number two, with that high mileage of a truck and it keeping on braking all the time, number one, it's only worth around 10 grand. And if you replace that transmission, you should also probably resurface the flywheel, put a new clutch in, and possibly a new throwout bearing.
Yeah, and we're talking about
So,
thousands of dollars on top.
correct, so it's really not worth, it's not worth fixing the truck. So really, I think we should put it on municipal bid for some farmer that might want the engine, the axle, and maybe the dump body. I personally think that's what we try to get. We disclose everything so we don't get in trouble, right? We can say, hey, this needs a transmission, here's what's wrong with it, and see what we can get for it.
I'm inclined to agree. Let's talk to Carl about it.
He
I think
was for it
I was
last,
gonna say, I think he feels the same on
Yeah.
that, and then we'll work on getting that up on municipal bid.
Yeah.
I guess then, is it fair to say that we can motion to, depending on the opinion of the roadmaster, put the
Motion to place the truck
on
on
municipal bid?
municipal subject to the masters.
That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse.
Playground maintenance, we're still looking into things that we can go after for the tennis courts, to be able to refurbish those, as well as pickleball court capabilities. Trash ordinance, we're still sending out letters compliant around the trash ordinance. Have some hopefully responses and metrics for that in the coming months.
And I've been getting a lot of calls. A lot of people already have it. They
Yeah.
they didn't respond. So once they call, give me the information, I confirmed it all. And
But let's for next month, try to get a tally of like how many we sent out, how many we
Okay.
got responses for. Committee bill for building. Their current task is to look into how and where to store history. Have you guys made any strides
I
on?
was not at the meeting last
Okay.
week. I was on vacation. I'm in charge of, excuse me, getting and looking around. I have looked at different places and called. I haven't talked to the ones over here yet. But most of the places only have one and it's only like a 10 by 20. And I was told we need 2 by 20s.
So what we were asking was basically to try to figure out, maybe reach out to the Berks Museum or the Historical Society or something and ask how those items should be handled and stored.
Well, I'm waiting to hear from Sarah about these people that she wants us to do a Zoom on, but I haven't heard anything. She's away also.
Okay, because I don't think putting the items in just a storage unit that's not climate controlled is gonna help.
It's gonna be actually.
It's gonna accelerate the decay.
Yeah.
Especially with the papers and the wood and the photos so there's a lot of stuff in there that we just can't chuck into a storage unit.
This is,
I'm waiting to hear from Sarah. And she's away.
road maintenance, I'll kind of skip over that because Carl isn't here. He's working on getting the 5-year rolling plan in place. 2026 road projects were obviously awarded. Some of that's been, actually, I think all that's been done.
We did a quick update on that.
Yeah.
So this did not come in time for your meeting, but I did want to review it with you just so you have consequences before you consider taking action. Take one and pass it down. These are, this is the payment application that came in.
Hold it.
Just, that should be, yep.
One for Colin, right?
Yep, sure. What you're looking at here is our payment application, okay? So, CMS submitted what was done. I have taken the columns and kind of labeled them for you, just so you can kind of go down through. We have A is titled total plan units, B is titled adjusted plan units, C is contract amount, and D is adjusted contract amount. So keep in mind, when we put this out, we estimated each road, right? Carl and our office walked each road, we took measurements. So those are the plan units, okay? The plan units are what we figured we would need to do the repair. Adjusted plan units are what we ended up marking in the field with. So they vary either up or down from the square yardage, slightly from the square yardage that we had. C is the contract amount, so what the contractor had in the contract, and D is the adjusted contract amount, which is essentially the resulting prices for each line item as we adjusted them when we went through each road. Okay, I want to take note, if you look at Canal Road, as the board recalls, there was some discussion regarding this. We extended that. We originally had 500 square yards of base repair just to get something done on the road. We did add approximately 950 square yards to that road. I have circulated an email, Shanty from our office did, which is actually the last attachment that I sent to you, that I gave to you here. So I added that as a separate item as opposed to just increasing the adjusted plan units, because in talking to the contractor, I worked to negotiate that additional 949.3 square yards down from $42 a square yard to $39. So they did us really well on that additional base that we added to Canal Road. All these other items, as you go down through, you'll note differences in what was done versus what was in the bid. For instance, the second item, Stouchburg Road, the 3-inch base repair, we had 1,000 square yards in the bid, 1,045.9 was complete. Okay. Additionally, we had 300 square yards of excavate for stone and kind of fix the sub base. 193.3 were done. Okay. So when you look at the right-hand side, you can see the contract amount and the adjusted contract amount. When you flip over to the total, okay, the second page, you can see that our original contract amount down there was $190,800.25. The adjusted contract amount was $242,326.86. The lion's share of that was the canal road. Okay. And then the change order amount there is in red, 51,526.61.
Okay.
This is the change order that will go to Charlie for approval before you act. And the final one was the email correspondence regarding the additional work on the canal. So take a look through this until next month. I welcome any questions that you have in advance of taking action on this. But it did come in, kind of last minute before your meeting here, and I wanted to get it out to you. I'll give you a copy of Carl's. It's just an update.
Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, as we were just talking about, the road projects were executed. We're reviewing that. We'll have to get the approval from Charlie before we ratify it. But then is that for payment as soon as they send us an invoice?
Next month. We'll have that.
Before you go to road issues, do
Yes.
we need to, go over the truck?
That
for Carl?
Carl wants to, yeah, let's, now procedural question for Colin, because that is only nebulously on the agenda. Do we have to amend the agenda to include that? We're looking at another truck on municipal bids to potentially replace the F-550.
The agenda.
Was that?
The agenda.
Yeah. My gut tells me yes. But where do you on that?
Can amend the agenda for that line item.
Okay. Okay, I'll make a motion to amend the agenda to include, the potential approval to bid on a new truck on municipal.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Okay, please ensure that you repost the agenda online and on the window tomorrow, okay?
Okay, so this is the truck that Carl was sending us information on. I think it looks good. F-550. Did he have any details like on it, like mileage or anything?
Forget, I read it online. Right here's the detail. Item description. I don't think miles. I think he texted me the mileage. I just don't.
I'll text with him later, but I have no idea what the going value is for that. Want to authorize up to Blue Book value for Carl to bid on it?
I mean, these aren't cheap. I
No.
looked at new ones.
Yeah. No, I know
See
they're,
what they went new.
I know they're not cheap. They're very much not cheap.
I would say up to Blue Book value. If it's,
Do we have an estimate of that number?
Offhand? No. Are we able to,
the last couple trucks went over 50. New one's roughly 125,000.
yeah, we obviously don't have the money for a new one. Okay.
So again, what's in the budget? What can we afford to spend first?
Well,
Because now the road projects and stuff cost us more money.
should still be.
You definitely need a truck.
Yeah, so we need a truck for mowing season.
If I remember right, it's under
I moved it.
100,000 miles.
Yeah.
And it's a 6.7, it's not a 6.0.
Thankfully, so that's the simple solution. Okay, so in the road district, the
Carl told me it has 7,500 miles on it.
it's very low mileage.
Coming from a township that has a population of 500
I think only what?
and has 4 miles of roads. Brandy Township. I never even heard of Brandy Township.
Can you look up the Blue Book value on that one?
Hardware truck, because once you can get into the truck, but then the dump by is separate.
I mean, it's rough figure.
Very excited about this truck.
I've had 7,000 miles on it. $550, right?
You almost have to question why they're getting rid of it, so low mileage.
We would have Carl go look at it
They
before
got
we.
plenty of money.
He did look at it. They got a new one, a newer one. I don't remember what all he said.
Apparently AJ Power does not do trucks that big.
Yeah,
He was saying something about,
like 400 people, but a corner of a casino or something.
he was here, he would explain it all, because he said they're charging like something for them and
They want to grant.
I mean, that might be true too. let's try to get a ballpark figure on that. And we can.
Do you want to authorize a bid?
Yeah.
If the Kelly Blue Book value falls below a certain threshold? Since we don't know then.
My,
Yeah.
all these trucks priced out.
So the really, yeah, there's a lot of questions there. I don't know when the auction is over. I don't want to sit on this for a month and lose out on this.
August 4th.
So yeah, we gotta move on this relatively quickly.
All right, it's the date.
It's at
Yeah.
$25,000 right now. Starting bid was $2,500. Buyer's fee is 9%. The end date is August 4th for the auction.
40,000, 45,000.
You're not gonna get it for that.
You're more the truck person than I am, so pretty your wisdom on this.
I know Carl thought it was going to go for at least 45,000. 45.
I was thinking maybe 60 with the price of trucks right now.
That just chassis.
It's got a dump body and everything on it.
It's got kind of like everything that we want.
I don't care.
Wow,
Yeah.
spreader.
That's a spreader and plow.
Like
That's that.
it's turnkey for exactly what we would need to replace the 550 that we have, which is why it's ideal.
And it's not a 6.0, the head bolts don't stretch.
I'll make a motion to authorize bidding up to $60,000. What do you think?
You think we should just do 65 to be safe,
I mean,
based off of Carl's judgment, but if we find out later that it's worth less than that,
yeah,
I can do the research
up
between
up
now
to,
and.
we can say up to 60,000, depending on.
Subject to inspection.
Yeah.
The township has the winning bid.
So I'll make a motion to approve up to 65, bidding up to 65,000, subject to Blue Book value and inspection of the truck upon potential winning bid of the township.
And I'll second it.
David Peter, second by Jency, roll call Peter. Jency.
Aye.
We still have the usual culprits for road issues. We have Forge Road that needs new steel culvert pipe, Church Road that needs concrete culvert, and head walls replacement. Wintersville Road with a steel pipe that's collapsing in the culvert. Did we hear back anything for School Road, the new installations?
Yes, I spoke with them today. I don't know, Colin, do you want to talk about that now or?
Yeah, I mean, that ball is in your court if you want to speak about it.
I received a phone call back from Pensy Supply.
Yeah.
They had people on vacation. We had folks on vacation, but at any rate, they spoke to the higher ups that they needed to. We had a discussion regarding, kind of, lesser repairs like shoulder backup, crack sealing, things like that. And while they said, yes, we'd be willing to consider stuff like that, they don't believe that's going to solve our issue.
Yeah.
So they were recommending that we do a base repair type repair similar to what we did on our roads this year. With some discussion between them and Carl and myself, whether it be 3 inches of mill and fill, 4 inches, whatever we think that would take. And their offer was that they would propose to do that, come out and measure it and give us an estimate and perform that work.
See a problem with that?
So that would, that's their proposed solution. And that would still be money out of our pocket, their cost. That's not
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
They're saying that they'll give us a proposal outlining what their cost would be and also outlining what the markup would be, at today's rates. And so,
Yeah, I mean,
to me, I
think
thought as
that's
though
a
that
fair
was,
split.
I thought it was fair.
yeah, based on kind of the situation on that, I think that's okay.
What would you expect that to cost the township?
I would have to believe.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
talking
not
with them
gonna-
this morning. My suggestion would be, again, their offer was, we would give you essentially a proposal to do.
right?
So what's the harm in at least seeing that?
There is none. I guess one of the questions I have for Peter is, you know, if this is a job that's close to six figures, do we have liquid fuels
Well,
funds?
this is what I need to see what the figure is, because if it's a small number, then I can figure out how to make it work.
And
It's too big.
the other caveat to this is making sure, obviously, we would make sure the materials would, we need to make sure that the payment. Right.
There's a lot of
Right,
ifs,
yeah.
but the basic premise of it, I'm not gonna like motion horizon, but based on kind of where we are with that warranty period and sort of the stipulations therein of, you know, state of the road and et cetera, I think this is probably a fair compromise, but let's see what they propose.
We would want PennDOT's input.
Yeah.
But our position is that this job would not need to be bid publicly because it would be essentially part of a settlement from a job that was previously bid.
Yeah. Okay.
When do you expect Pennsy to provide that quote?
Well, they were waiting on if there was any direction from tonight's meeting. And I would certainly think that we could get that in advance of our next.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
When's your next workshop?
The second to last Thursday of the month. So that would be August 27th. No? Because that's the last Thursday of the month.
21st?
Oh, for the workshop. I'm sorry. Yeah, Thursday the 20th. My bad. Thank you, Kelly.
I'm in 2025. That's why. Let's get.
Yes.
For July 30th now,
So I'd give you like,
you said the 20th?
I'd give you like roughly 3 weeks.
Well, let's see if they can meet that.
Well, we need an agreement in principle by that date. Otherwise, the township needs to put the contractor's surety on notice. Do what you can, Ryan, to
Yeah, they probably won't.
understand more about the offer.
More information to come.
Okay, thank you. Spur Road, we're not putting up any speed limit signs based on the Hopi portion being 15 miles per hour. It's not marked. There's no restrictions on truck and weight or length. And honestly, having been on that road a few times, I don't think,
We own,
yeah,
well, like,
we own very little of it, and I don't think you're physically able to get much.
we own
faster.
like 15 feet.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So I think it's a non-issue. We can
Doesn't-
strike,
Yeah,
we can
they-
strike that
yeah.
one for next.
if somebody wants to do something about it, top off.
Precisely. Okay, business projects, there's no new actions on Blue Spruce, 85 Main Street. Hold it on 6th, resolution to approve Fourth Amendment to the police service with Tulsa Police Department. That's the one that we had previously looked at, right?
Right, so I've referenced this issue at prior public meetings, but this development spans 3 jurisdictions, 2 relevant here, Heidelberg Township and Marion Township. Heidelberg Township gets its police coverage from South Heidelberg Police Department. We obviously get our police coverage from Hoboken Police Department. All of the parties are in agreement that it makes sense given the location and that 75% of the homes are in Marion.
Yeah.
Or Hoboken Township Police Department
It's
to cover the entire development.
Yeah. The
So
specifics of that haven't changed since the last time you and I talked.
correct. So before the board tonight is a resolution that authorizes the township's entry into that addendum or amendment to the contract with Tulpehocken. As a side note, the agreement or the addendum at Tulpehocken's request also memorializes the parties' prior conduct and ongoing conduct with respect to coverage, assuming that Tulpehocken Department is actually staffed. My understanding is that sometimes the department lacks staffing when it's supposed to have coverage due to vacations and sick time and PTO. And this agreement, again, at Tulpehocken's request, just puts the caveat into the agreement that we get coverage 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Understanding that it may be subject to limitation based upon paid time off. That's really the the sum and substance of this addendum.
And Lisa, what resolution number are we up to?
I would have to go check it out.
You're gonna need to know that.
While Lisa's looking to that, I'll also provide a brief update on the intergovernmental agreement. So the intergovernmental agreement concerns the municipalities and developers' rights with respect to things like sidewalk and streets and municipal improvements, inspections, code enforcement, water and sewer service. That agreement is finalized, but for us being able to confirm that the Wilmsdorf Sewer Authority is in fact holding financial security for the sewer related infrastructure. Once the township confirms that the Wilmsdorf Sewer Authority is in fact requiring security, we can memorialize that in the agreement and it'll be ready for signature. That ball is in the developer's court to provide a final plan to the sewer authority, so the sewer authority engineer can develop a cost estimate.
Maybe in the next couple of months.
Where the township is close to being ready for release of the plan.
Okay. Very good. 2026-4. Okay. I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2026-4 approving the fourth addendum to police service with Mulbahaken Township Police Department.
Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Kathy.
Aye.
Peter, I'll have you sign that resolution and agreement after the meeting tonight.
Very good. Okay, there's also no new actions for Martin's Church, Gerald Weaver's project, the Oberholzer Ag Operations, or Dutch Valley Foods. The Luke Troutman Ag Operation is a new poultry operation consisting of 3 poultry barns, manure storage. No action needed on that this time, but it's a new addition to the list. I did talk to AT&T. AT&T actually partners with FirstNet for the cell phone stuff. So the quotes that we have would be the same that my reps would have given us already for AT&T. So this would just be figuring out what we want to do based on essentially the quotes we have. Personally, I think there's some compelling reasons to have a couple of cell phones within the township, especially in the case of FirstNet rather than like Verizon or AT&T. Because if there is any sort of emergency that affects cell phone service, FirstNet actually has prioritization of cell bands as being either, first responder or, government official, things like that. So potentially when other people are down, we're still able to coordinate and keep things. So there's certain utility there. So let's look at that, see how that fits into the budget. And then maybe next month we can decide on how we're going to attack that, because then we can get business cards. Shady Cabin Circle. Gonna talk to people about the road and the potential easement situation that we have there. I need to talk to Joe at Hydroterra about that, because I think the other way might work better short term. Simply because of how close those two houses are on the corner, it's going to be nigh on impossible to get the
If
second.
you go in there on the right.
Exactly. Yeah, you got one like smack on the road on the one side, and then one pretty much smack on the road on the other. That maybe going out behind them into the circle might be a better temporary solution. Escrow agreement for land development projects. We have. Is there anything?
Colin, what
Yeah, so let me provide just.
Yeah.
So I've said this a couple of times at public meetings the last few years, but the township taxpayers do not subsidize the
Private
review of land development projects, okay? Those fees and costs that the township incurs from the solicitor and from the engineer's office for review are billed to the township. And then the township gets reimbursement from the developer, okay? A lot of municipalities require the developer to put up a professional fees escrow pursuant to an escrow agreement when either a land development plan is submitted or a sketch plan is submitted where property owner or developer is seeking some general feedback on zoning ordinance or subdivision land development ordinance. In lieu of the township having to chase after these people to seek reimbursement, as a condition of accepting the plan for submission or giving some general guidance, okay, the township can require in exchange an agreement to be signed and money to be posted that we can draw upon and then return.
I think it's sensible.
If the township wants to go that route, you can authorize my preparation of an escrow agreement to use for those purposes.
Yeah, we should do that.
I'll make a motion to authorize Consulate staff to prepare a.
David Peters, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Jesse,
Okay, the next one's also for you. The 4050 Conrad Weiser Parkway. We have to ratify the execution of the temporary settlement agreement, and then we have to immediately motion to terminate temporary. So
Right, so on this property, we're engaged in code enforcement litigation, right? At the beginning of this year, we had issued property maintenance code and zoning ordinance notices of violation, alleging that the conditions failed to meet our property maintenance code and that the use of a motel was not actually occurring at the property, but a boarding house without proper permits. Okay, the property owner neither complied with those notices nor appealed them. Okay, so we have filed citations with the district justice. Okay, the district justice scheduled a hearing that we were willing to continue pursuant to this agreement based upon the property owner's request that he would and wanted to, in good faith, explore potential redevelopment now that the use of the property itself is in question. You know this, Peter, because we met and had that settlement conference with him. However, he failed to even take the first step under that agreement, which was providing us with an engagement letter saying that he'd have a civil engineer present some options for redevelopment or readaptive use. Okay, that never even happened. And so tonight, township needs to authorize the execution of that agreement because it happened a couple of days after the deadline that we had set last month. But then we need to terminate it effective July 23rd because that was the deadline he had to provide us with an engagement. Okay, so when the township takes those actions, we will be proceeding with a code enforcement hearing before the district justice on August 20th.
okay, I'll make two motions back to back, Lisa.
okay,
First one is going to be the ratification of the execution of temporary settlement agreement with 4050 Conrad Weiser Parkway.
I'll second it.
motion made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Next motion is to terminate the temporary settlement agreement retroactive to July 23rd due to breach in agreement from the property owner's part for 4050 Conrad Weiser Parkway.
And I'll second it.
David Peters, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Grass, weeds, and vegetation. The triangle coming into town is technically PennDOT's. We are looking at contracts with that to potentially have that next year. So the overgrowth is in the right of way within the township.
and Glenn has some discussion
We
on
have
that.
some points on that.
Yeah, so in discussion with Lisa and Carl about that this week, there is concern about the number of properties in town that have overgrowth either on the side of the road, into the cartway.
Yeah.
Or overhanging above. Looking at the ordinance requirements for the township, there's a required clearance above sidewalks of 10 feet, above the cartway of the street of 12. So there could be a significant number of properties. So we were just looking for the board's direction to how they wanted to see the profits and concerns. Filing.
Yeah.
I have a recommendation I made.
Yeah, please.
So, again, the property owners have a right to, an obligation to maintain their property. Okay, if a property owner fails given the interest we have in the right of way, we have the ability to do it ourselves if it's compromising public safety.
Yeah.
Okay, we can even do that work and lien property to recover that cost, okay? I would, in lieu of just doing that, I would suggest that we send letters reminding people politely that they should maintain their property. And, please don't make us
Make us do it.
trim it on their behalf.
Can you get a letter together for review on that?
Yeah,
And then
we could
it's-
get the letter and then if we want
Give us the-
Carl can give the list of properties.
Yeah.
Else. Doesn't matter.
I'd much rather start there rather than doing it leaning somebody. I think that's
Can we
very
put
much
that in there as a warning though? Property could be subject to a lien if
failure to do so could result in,
Yeah, we typically-
information working.
We typically have.
I'm getting a lot of calls now about.
Yeah, there's a lot of low stuff.
The
Various
one
places.
today is, and you might know what the alley is, behind Jasper Keller's, there's that alley there.
I don't know the name of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but if you're on Main and you make a left on Sharp.
Hmm.
And then you make a left and go behind their
That's
houses,
Singer?
and then you
Yeah, that's
come around to come back out the Main, like right
Yep.
there. I don't know which alley that is. Cause Carl and I were in the truck the other day. And the tree was on the hood of his car, the truck.
Yeah.
That's how low it was.
Yeah, let's send letters out to people, remind them of what their requirements and responsibilities are.
Yeah.
And then if we have to take action after that.
Question.
Yes,
So if my neighbor's tree is growing over my fence, can I trim that?
You have the right to trim any limb that grows over your fence.
yeah,
By law. You have a right.
you just can't trim stuff that's on the other side of the
Yeah.
tree
But
law.
now, the one thing,
Tree law.
the one thing I will ask Colin though, which I probably said before. Is there anything the township can do about a property owner leaving a dead tree in his yard? And we know it's probably gonna fall next storm.
Well, that could be a property maintenance code issue potentially.
Okay,
Um,
because tree law is weird. That's why I'm asking.
are there specific provisions in the IPMC about maintenance of trees, Glenn?
Typically, no, usually we've addressed it if it's along the right of way, where it's gonna affect the public way. We've done it in that instance. If it's a tree on a private property that might fall and hit that person's house, it becomes more of a civil matter than it is a township. Once it's
Very, very similar to what we had told about putting tree heights
You
down.
know, yeah, we can't just, absent of code provision. And even if there is a code provision, trees have value, so we can't just order property owner to take down a tree because we believe it's unsafe. Right? It has value, it's part of real property, and it can't be taken by government force without compensation. So
Mhm.
it is more of a private property issue. And I think we discussed here, neighbors notifying
Mhm.
carriers on property owner's behalf, whether that's actually effective is another question, but, it's not an easy issue to resolve, frankly.
Not a joke. Yeah, so at sidewalks, there's required to be a 10-foot clearance above the sidewalk, so. So from width to the sidewalk itself, extending 10 feet up in the air, there should be no obstruction. And then for cartways, which is the paving of the street, it's 12 feet. Width of the street going up 12 feet.
Next item is donations. We had some discussion around posting a sign at the playground listing contributors for donations. I think we get that. We want to take a second to thank Teresa Weaver, who donated the 240 flags placed out for 4th of July. So somebody please pass along the thanks to Teresa. We should maybe send her a thank you card.
I think that they've already inquired about asking us if they can by the ball field. And I think that we said yes
Yeah.
already, didn't we?
Like I said,
Prior meetings
I
ago?
personally don't have a problem with it. I had said that was a good fundraising
Yeah, I
opportunity.
think we were discussing it, but I don't think we actually finalized the discussion.
We can.
Yeah.
Handle it next month. But like I said, I personally don't have any objection to that.
No, I don't
I
either.
think that's a good way to incentivize people to donate.
She donated 240 flags. I mean,
Trash, we have some people dumping random things around township. For example, a pool table turned up on Ballinger Road, that Carl's gonna have to deal with. Other than that, there's just the other oddball things that get dumped here and there. Western Berks Joint Planning Commission meeting is gonna be on August 20th at 7 PM. It's the same night and time as our meeting. So Jesse and Denny will be here covering that one. I will be at the Berks Joint Planning Commission meeting. Since there's not a quorum needed for that one, it's discussion only around the reorg for the planning commission, the data centers and updates to keeping a pet.
And that's for us.
Yes, I know that's for us. Stray animals, as Lisa mentioned, there was some trap neuter release stuff that was done. Excellent. And Humane Society of Berks, we need to consider the, I know we talked about it. Did we authorize the agreement with them? Or no, we
No.
pushed it.
we were talking about it.
We talked
Yeah, I
about
think
it.
we still need to talk to Danny.
'Cause I know originally he was
$200.
not.
Yeah, he was not super keen on it. That would be a situation where it'd be $200 per dog, max of $15 per year. Dog had to be picked up here, it'd be another $150 per dog. And hopefully the appointed representative of the township would be able to have that drop off or pick up, not be like anything.
And the keeping of pets, was that the chicken thing?
That was the fixing the typo, keeping a chickens thing,
Okay,
that none of us caught.
because it was the acreage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
Is the acreage and the dimension.
King and Lebanon will not do anything with the dog, so that's the only place that I could get, so. Either we do that or we
we just don't.
do anything at all.
Yeah, we used to have something like that, then everything got really crazy expensive, so. We'll pin that, we'll talk about that more. Like I said, I like having the ability, if there is a stray dog, getting the dog help. We used to have that, but it's one of those things that doesn't come up. So it may be a situation where some years we have a bunch, some years we have none. Makes it a little difficult to budget for unless we just budget for a fixed amount and hopefully come in under.
Well, what stinks is it usually comes in spurts. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I had 4 this year.
Yeah,
They've had 2.
that's what I mean. There's a use for it for sure, and it sucks that other places won't even let you take them in unless you have some sort of contracts in, and then it has to come through a very specific check.
And at 2:30 in the morning, there has been a colleague caught on my Ring camera
Mhm.
going porch to porch. It's usually the same time every night.
Go schedule.
We did get the scanners in, so we have one
Okay, good.
and,
And Puppy has one.
we got it.
Okay. Secondarily, we have some deliberation that we have to make around preparation for ordinance regulating stray animals. I think this would be authorizes Colin to advise us on that.
Didn't the board authorize preparation at last month's meeting?
We did,
Right.
and then we were gonna make him the officer for it.
Right, so
That's right.
let me just go over this. Let me, for the board's direction on last month's meeting, I have prepared for your review an ordinance that amends the responsible pet ownership ordinance that we already have in place.
Okay,
And to summarize what I prepared, I'll just read the title and summary.
Yeah.
And it's an ordinance of the township amending that ordinance number 2022-03 to define the terms animal control officer, cat, tag, trap, neuter, and release program, and TNR program permit, to specify the duties of the ACO, to allow appointment of the ACO by resolution, to require a resident to obtain a permit for participation in the TNR program, to require that dogs and cats have tags and that cats be leashed, to prohibit a person from feeding any dog or cat not owned by that person, or that lacks a tag, absent participation in the TNR program under a permit, and to revise the penalty provision. That's essentially what the ordinance does. The goal, as we discussed, is to try and ultimately reduce and control the population of stray cats and the people who may be encouraging their their reproduction, right, through feeding, whatnot. So that's what the ordinance does. If the board is comfortable with it, it can authorize its advertisement for potential adoption at next month's meeting. If the board wants more time with it, that's fine. You can always do that until next.
I mean, it's not terribly long. I'd like to read through it once, but the summary on that, I have zero objection. It's all solid additions or amendments to the existing ordinance. We'll keep that on the agenda for next month. But
Take a look.
yes, I don't foresee having any problem with it, honestly. I just want to give it a fair.
The one thing I did ask Tom and Glenn was residents that are helping with the TNR program, because I know like George and Blake are, that they would, give me their information, so they would have a permit to continue to do so, because they are working with the township on TNR.
We don't want to discourage people, obviously, from participating in that program. So I've prepared a one-page permit that would not cost anything.
Yeah.
But by the same token, if we're trying to reduce this population, we don't want people who are feeding these animals to rely upon the program as an excuse to do so.
Yeah.
Right. So
Agreed.
if you want to participate in the program and you want to lure cats with food, just get the permit. It doesn't cost anything. Just a one-page document with us.
Yeah.
Letting us know that's what you're doing.
Okay.
Obviously can tell somebody that's just feeding cats versus then we'll know if you're
Well,
catching,
sure,
releasing,
yeah.
but
I mean, there's a number of stray cats near my house that even prior to the trap neuter release thing, it's like I just catch them, I take them, get them fixed and hunt them back out. So yeah, I agree that we don't want to discourage people from using it. We also don't want to encourage people to give them an avenue to abuse it. So
Did you send me a?
Really?
I can make you a copy of it.
moving into the archive of older issues, we're not going to go into discussion around Bollinger Road, the overflow matter based on the possible litigation. The saldo updates are on hold. I actually just need to call the license place about Abby's license because I didn't respond to my email. Full building is on hold, potential around grants. And just as an open statement, the idea engine of anything that is beautification, added efficiency or added capability to the township. If you think of it, send it into the office, talk to one of us, let us know. We're always looking for ideas that might improve the township as a whole and see if it's something that we can fit into the timeline and the budget. And I do not have any comments. Jesse, do you have any comments?
I do. A couple township meetings ago, maybe it was a workshop meeting. Forget what road it is. It's one of the brand new paved roads that we have. I don't remember the person that brought it up either.
Yeah.
There are farmers that are farming all the way to the edge of the road and then turning around in the,
It was Carl. Carl brought it up.
turning around in the new asphalt and then going back at it into the lane, and they're destroying the new roads.
We were going to send them a letter.
Okay, so I didn't know if anything got touched base on that or.
Check with Carl. I don't know if the letter actually got sent, but that was the instruction that we had given Carl, was to send the guy a letter reminding him that,
Mhm.
you can, farm all the way to the edge of your property, but you need to not turn around on the freshly paved road, otherwise it ruins it forever.
Right. And then I did talk to Carl, it's on his list, about labeling the road that is unlabeled near the Black Dog that we found out is possibly, I don't remember the name of the road again. Mifflin Road, you write everything that she knows everything. Mifflin Road. So, that's still ongoing. He's gonna do more research.
Okay.
And then he was gonna do more research also on, Shady Cabin.
Yeah, I know he was
Circle.
working on the footage for Shady Cabin
Yeah.
Circle.
Other than that, that's all oh, one more thing. I gotta schedule it with her, but, some people may know of a person that does Burke's Nostalgia, on Facebook. They do history of Berks County. I am working with her to try to do some history of Stouchburg and the Marion Township building. And I have a call. I talked with her today. She's willing to do it. And I'm going to schedule with her some time to go through the township and the building, hopefully, and get us some media attention.
Felicity.
That might help us with grants in the future. That
Excellent.
shows the support.
Thank you for doing that, Joseph. Yep. Okay, Lisa, anything for you? Any comment?
No, I just want to thank everybody yesterday for large way. Deb came out to help. Brad, I can't remember Brad's last name. Yeah, he helped. Troy came out and helped. Even Joe, from Berks Community Cats helped, and it took a lot, but everybody got together and be able to do it. So looking forward to seeing if we can get another
Keep it going.
day. And I think other people are becoming interested in working on this also. So
Good. Colin? Anything for you?
Just a quick comment. I'd like to discuss the matter further in executive session, but myself and our environmental remediation experts appointed by our insurance carrier met with the property owner and their counsel at the site yesterday near Bollinger Road. And I agree that we are, or I believe that we have a general understanding of how this matter should be resolved.
Okay.
Subject to the approval of the conservation district. So I just want to go over those, the specific nature of those terms in executive session tonight.
Okay. So we'll have an executive session immediately. Brian?
No, the only one thing that I will add is a few meetings back, we were talking about and vehicles that we heard some issues was meeting on Main Street. The engineer from LTAP that I had reached out to has reached back out to me, working on scheduling a time. Look at this issue, and there's some other issues that I'm gonna take him to throughout the county, but when that's scheduled, I will let Lisa and Carl know.
Perfect, thank you.
One thing I will say, Beverly, is the speed from that side of town coming in, ever since we fixed that road,
It's gotten worse. It's
they're doing 1,000,000 miles an hour.
the potholes aren't,
The east.
Yeah, they do that too, yeah.
the potholes aren't there to slow
But
you
I
down.
wasn't used to seeing it from that side anymore because the potholes slowed them down. Now I see it both ways. Including trucks and fully loaded farm tractors.
Yeah, people fly.
Because some of those farm tractors can do 35, 40. And then they'll have a whole load behind them. They're not stopping that.
Deb just stated she got passed. Oh, yeah, coming
Jeez.
from the line
Yeah.
when you're coming into the west.
Mhm.
I was going past, she started passing me. I was like, okay, that's it. She got a few words.
I
Just like, okay.
I was removing old concrete curbing at my house that was done poorly. And I worked on that for like 2 weeks. And I was standing outside. All I was doing was pushing one stone up into my truck and the car was hitting me. I felt it go right by like that. So, and I had cones out when I was doing that part. So.
Yeah. Structural potholes. Glenn, anything for you? Okay, excellent. In that case, we will be holding, Kelly, yeah.
NTCA is selling, sandwich tickets for $9. We still have $10 Bella gift certificates. You can get anything on your menu. And October 23rd, we're having a dinner date. We do some fundraising. We've done some outreach to the people in the community who lost their roof, fire. And
What are the details on the dinner dance? Where is it?
dinner dance is at Yeah. 7 to 10, dance, and
What's the
John
cost?
Galt catering.
flyer up there if you want
Okay,
it.
I just, while we're getting details here, we'll get the details. Okay, in that case, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting so we can have the executive session immediately following. Time is 8:20.
Oh.
You second it?
I second it.
Motion made. You second by Jesse.
Got a second?
You get,
I second it.
aye.
Oh. Hanging out with Dennis too much.
Thanks, everybody.